Welcome back, mobile gamer of YouTube, to this, my weekly summary video series, where we spend about a minute talking about each of the 4 best or most interesting mobile games I played last week. Now, in today's episode, I will be tuning in on games played in portrait mode in particular. So if that's your jam, brighten up, because your day might just be about to get a whole lot better. So what have I got for you guys this week? Well, my friends, today we will be covering everything from a music rhythm game that I spent far too much time on this week, by the way, to a unique indie roguelike shooter with a distinct art style and UI, a punishing action RPG where we have to time our attacks and block incoming attacks at just the right time to survive, and lastly, a shoot-'em-up space game perfect for those 5-minute casual play sessions. Now, as always, I've saved my favorite game of the week for the end of this video, so be sure to stick around for that. And let's kick things off this week with Beatfire, which is a music rhythm game where we swipe left and right to aim our gun, and yes, you heard that right, our gun, at tiles coming from the top of the screen to the rhythm of EDM tracks. With only 3 lives, even on normal difficulty, the game is rather punishing, but the gameplay feels amazing, and I had a lot of fun playing Beatfire this week. We unlock new tracks in Beatfire through spending in-game gold, which we earn quickly through gameplay, or we can unlock tracks by watching advertisements. And I actually quite like this way of monetizing, as it makes Beatfire one of the few rhythm games on mobile where we do not have to spend real-life money to unlock new tracks. The game is offline playable, it takes up only 77 MB of space, so it's actually a rather small game as well. It's out on Android and on iOS, and if you like music rhythm games, I think it's worth checking this one out. Now, I do know that some of you mentioned in my video on the game that you didn't quite like the gun sounds, but I gotta say that I personally really enjoyed this game, and if you haven't played it yet, I think it's worth taking for a spin to see if it's your cup of tea as well. Today's next game, though, is something rather different. It's a game called Demon Blade, and it's a samurai-themed action RPG with a very unique combat system, where we have to swipe to attack and tap to defend at just the right time to avoid dying to the enemies we're fighting. Combat is super challenging in this game, like really challenging, even right from the beginning, but if you like timing-based combat, you'll most likely enjoy Demon Blade. Between levels in this game, we equip new gear and we level it up using resources earned through gameplay before we head back into one of the game's multiple game modes. Monetization of Demon Blade happens through a gacha unlocking system to unlock new demons, which are then infused into our weapons to make them stronger, but we don't actually unlock gear or units or weapons themselves through this unlocking system. And then secondly, it monetizes through an energy system. And I don't particularly like this monetization system, but the gameplay is good enough and unique enough to still make it worthwhile to take this game for a spin if you haven't played it yet. The game requires online access, it takes up 263 MB of space, it's out on Android and will very soon release on iOS as well. In fact, according to the developer, the game should release on iOS by the end of January 2020, so anytime now. And if you like action RPGs with unique combat systems, this one is a must play, and it's certainly one of the more unique RPGs I've played in a very long time, so I think it's worth playing even despite the gacha unlocking system. Next up, we've got a game called ReversEstory, which is a space shooter that plays almost exactly like a bullet hell game, except there are no bullets in this game. Instead, we have to eliminate the enemy viruses flying towards us so they don't hit our spaceship. Progression is based on a seemingly endless series of campaign levels, and in between these levels, we can improve the strength and the fire rate of our normal weapon, and we can level up a range of different special weapons to make us a whole lot stronger. The game's premium currency can be earned through daily quests and through login rewards, or it can be bought through in-app purchases, of course, to progress faster, which doesn't really feel necessary though. Now, I think it's meaningful to mention that some Redditors have reported that this game actually also has forced advertisements, even though during my time with the game I didn't see any of those. But the game does deploy a live energy system though, which means we spend 5 energy to enter a match, and then if we win, we earn that 5 energy back again. We have 80 energy in total, by the way, so I haven't really experienced running out of energy, and I don't think you will either, but the system is there, and I think you guys should be aware of that. The game is offline playable, it takes up 216 MB of space, it's available on Android and on iOS, and despite how the monetization sounds like, I never felt the impact of the monetization, so if you're looking for a less hardcore bullet hell-like experience on mobile, I think this one is worth playing as a casual experience. And then for my favorite game this week, ReverseEstory, which is a unique 2D indie roguelike shooter, and trust me, everything from the controls to the graphics to the UI is unique in this game. So the premise of ReverseEstory is that we swipe to jump around each map while we pick up equipment pieces from chests and tap the screen to fire arrows to deal with enemies. Upon finishing a map, we get to select one of 2 random attributes that will then influence the next randomly generated dungeon, and then we simply keep going like this for as long as we can survive in this game. The boss battles in ReverseEstory are challenging and fun, and while the game is very badly translated from Japanese, by the way, the monetization is extremely relaxed as as well, with only 2 in-app purchases to simply support the developer, and then a few advertisements here and there. It is truly one of the most unique games I've ever played on mobile, so while some of you might be scared away by that fact, and that's completely fine, some of you will really enjoy this one, and I know I did. The game is offline playable, it takes up only 130 megabytes of space, it's available both on Android and on iOS, and if you like shooters, if you like roguelikes, or if you like platformers, I think you're gonna love ReverseEstory. So it's an easy recommendation from my end, and as I said, it's also my favorite game of the week. So, there you have it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed today's video, by the way, because I've got a ton of new games that I want to show you guys in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.